Hello. Hello, this is Professor Lilly. I hope everyone's doing all right. Um, I apologize for not being able to come to campus today. My daughter has strep throat, and I need to sit here with her because she's not allowed to go to school for a couple days until the medicine clears it all out. Um, but today in class, we were just going to go over this assignment. So as long as you watch this video, you should be good. So just to recap, you should have finished audio assignment, and you should have dropped it, or rather dropped the Word document. Oops, looks like a few people, you have a few minutes to go ahead and turn it in. There won't be a huge penalty for being late. And what I was looking for in here is a WordPress or just a Word document that has the URL of a page on your site that has the audio embed, and then also your tutorial journal. So it's just a Word document you were supposed to turn in. One thing to say about that is that you can go ahead and start thinking ahead to the end of semester assignments, and one of them, and I haven't put out the guidelines yet, but I'll give you guidelines for basically sprucing up and adding some elements to your website. And so this assignment, the audio editing assignment and the video editing, can and should both be added to your portfolio. So just think ahead and don't necessarily just randomly put it on just some random page. Like these elements should be going on a portfolio page, and add a description of it. So you can, you could just go ahead and say, for my digital tools class, we were assigned to record and edit some audio, and here's the topic I chose to do, and and that's about it. And then have the embed right next to that description. On a couple of your pages, I saw that maybe a few of you seem to have the audio embed on every single page, and you definitely don't want that. You just want it on one page in your portfolio. So for the video module 5, we're basically going to be doing the same thing in terms of you will turn it in, or you will put it on a page in your portfolio on your website. You'll embed it, and then you will go ahead and submit right here a Word document that has the link to the page where I can find it, and your tutorial journal as well. So let me just say a few things. So I'll just give you a short description. It's very similar to the last module, and the difference is that instead of, obviously, the difference in apps, so you will be using your smartphone, and you will be using Adobe Premiere Clip, which is a app that you can put on your smartphone. You could put it on a tablet as well, and it's basically for recording short video clips and editing them in the app, and creating short. You could probably actually create something fairly long. For our purposes, you will be creating something about 1 minute long. So there's a variety of tutorials here. Please, in your tutorial journals, tell me which ones were most useful for you. And so I do require you to just use some of them. You don't have to look at every single aspect of every single one of them. And again, the first thing before doing the tutorials is obviously getting it Adobe Premiere Clip on your phones. Okay, so the description for the assignment is right here, and it's a little Google Doc. And so what we're looking for, and you can come up with your own topic here. So as you read through, We're looking for about 1 minute, so I don't really want something less than a minute. And you can go as long as 2 minutes. That's fine with me. And you need to come up with a specific idea. Okay, so maybe you decide to kind of, in a more journalistic style, cover a basketball game that you go to see on campus, and you can take some short clips of the game itself and a couple of interviews with fans of what they thought of the game, and give a recap. Uh, You could do something more creative, like a day in the life of a Loyola student. Um, you could do something that's more kind of historical or journalistic, like you could talk about the history of the Loyola campus or a particular area in Baltimore. You could do what it's like to live in my dorm room and interview your suite mates. There's lots of different ideas you can come up with. Whatever it is, you do need to focus on it kind of making sense within whatever genre that you choose. So, and as if any person might randomly come upon it in YouTube and click on it, and it would make sense as to what it is. So, with that in mind, some of the advice I gave for the audio also applies. So we see here in terms of what's required, you definitely want to have a title slide to the beginning, and make sure that the beginning isn't after the title slide all of a sudden snapping right into a video clip in a way that seems unnatural or doesn't make sense. And the same thing at the very end. Don't just end the video with just clipping off in the middle of a clip. So make it feel, intuitive and making sense that it was in. You might even have a title slide at the end saying simply the end. And you can end it with that, with a credit slide. So the credit slide would be your name. If you want to include the name of the people you interviewed, that's fine. If you included some music by a band or a composer, then you can include that, give credit to those individuals as well at the end. Premiere Clip has some kind of free jingles that are that you can kind of pull in, that you will see in the tutorials, and you can also drag in audio as well that you've yourself edited, or MP3s of songs. So again, just think about the mood that you're trying to develop and go with that. Ambient sound, so that's just, for example, if, usually ambient sound comes naturally along with just taking a video. So if you are just taking a clip of the basketball game, then obviously when you take the video, you're going to get some of the sound of what it's like to be there, or the players yelling on the court as you get some of the action. If you interview two people, then you might ask them to step aside a little bit, so just so that you're collecting the audio you're getting along with the video is pretty good. But then it would also be nice to have some of that sound of the game in the background at the same time. Voiceover narration is required, and you can kind of decide how you want to do that. If you don't want to have very much, then you can have a voiceover just introducing, like at the same time as the title slide, what the topic is. Today, for today's video, I decided to interview my suite mates just to talk about what life in our dorm room is like. Or this is the life of a Loyola college student. Whatever it is. So it could just be one sentence. You can also use the voice over in transition parts. So let's say like between, you could use it to introduce the first interviewee and the second interviewee. You can just having your voice, like for example, like right, you could have a shot where you see the interviewee before they talk, and you are behind the camera talking. And so now I'm going to interview John and see what he thought of the game. And then that will be their cue to start talking. So you can kind of maybe want to talk it over with the interviewees beforehand, just to make sure it goes smoothly. I mean, more than likely, you're going to have to re-record it more, a couple times just to make sure you get a good shot. And if you are hoping to get your voice in the beginning there, then just to make sure that that happens in a smooth way. I would like to have some other title slides. So let's say you're talking about the history of the campus. Then if you're looking at the Humanities building, for example, then you could have the title of the building and the year it was built. Or if you're in front of the basketball stadium, that you could have a title slide coming up with the name of the stadium and the name of the team that's coming to Loyola, the date. Just think of different things that you could swap in there. Obviously, if you're only going for 1 minute or 1.5 minutes, then only a couple of these, including the title slide and the credit slide, would be needed. Okay, and so this is all just kind of a way for making sure that you develop a sense of all the things that are possible in basic video editing. When you go to the next level, like if you take video 1 in the communication department, then you will be using Adobe Premiere, which is a full feature video editing software that can be used or is used often professionally. So Clip kind of is just a reduced version of it. So this will help you a lot when you go to those upper level courses as well. Okay, so anyway, yeah, come up with a good title. I mean, good topic. If you're really unsure, just send me an email. Like if you have an idea and you're not quite sure if it'll fly, then send me an email. I'll let you know. Just don't try to do anything that that really would require 5-10 minute video to do well. So I would urge you to kind of narrow down your topic to something that could kind of make sense in a 1 to 2 minute video. And most of all, just have fun with this. I'm mostly going to be grading you on whether or not you integrate these. You all, at this point in your lives, have seen thousands and thousands of videos in your lifetime, and so you all should have a pretty good sense of what decent quality is. So, mostly you're going to be holding the camera, so there's going to be a little bit of shaking, and sometimes it would kind of almost make sense. So if a day in the life of a college student includes a jog, well, then you're going to be holding the camera jogging. Just keep in mind that the experience for the person who's watching it when it's being kind of jogged up and down like that is kind of jarring and not necessarily pleasant. So use those kind of video literacy that you kind of already have as people in a very visual culture to kind of critique your own work. And you might, probably a good idea is also, once you get to a point where you have a pretty good version of your video, you might want a friend in the class or just another student in general, your suite mate, whoever, to look at it and see if they have any ideas. Obviously, audio quality is important, so if you can't really hear the interviewees when they're talking, then that would be something that would be easy for me to ding a few points on. Or if you're like cutting off someone's head in the video, basic things like that are things that you should be able to identify. So anyway, all the descriptions here. So this rubric, I'm going to kind of hone it down a little bit, and so I can put it into Moodle. But I am going to be basically kind of looking at all of these. Again, it's mostly going to be the guidelines and then basic kind of literacy of understanding what a good video is And if you think it's not good, if the audio quality of the interview, then just go ahead and record it. Okay, so this will also basically be a 1-week assignment. Just click in the submission box, put your Word doc there that says what page, the link to what page on your site where I can find it. This will be due a week from today, so in the morning on Tuesday, what is that, the 20th? Okay, so there are a couple, just like the audio, there's 2 basic ways to get your video onto the site. You can upload directly a video file to the site. Now the problem is that depending on the quality of your phone, some of these videos might be fairly big, and they probably, depending on how long they are, might exceed the limitation of what the site will allow you to upload. Nowadays, most video, even this video that you're watching right now, are not hosted on specific websites for an institution, so not on the Loyola Moodle site, but on YouTube or Vimeo or another video hosting site. So the most kind of current type of way, or in terms of best practices today for putting a video somewhere, is to put it on YouTube first. So that's what I recommend doing, is go ahead from Adobe Clip, finish it up, have someone look at it. Once you feel good at it, upload it to YouTube. And from YouTube, what you can do is go ahead and embed it into the page, just in the same way that you embedded the WordPress, or rather the audio file. Certain WordPress installs will actually go ahead and understand that a URL that you paste into a page is a YouTube video. And I haven't looked at the one where we're using this hosting service called Bluehost. So what I'll do for is on Thursday we'll go back over that. So just to make sure. So you might be able to just go ahead and paste the URL directly into the page, and then when you look at the page, it might just go ahead and embed it for you. So we'll figure that on Thursday. So again, we are going to meet in class on Thursday. Let's see, where are we? Now, they are forecasting snow, but unless school is actually canceled, we will definitely still meet. Okay, so just because we really need to meet just to kind of make sure you're understanding everything for Module 5, and then also to discuss the Thanksgiving break. And the reason is because I've already told you, and I know a few people already made their plane reservations or plans to get out of town on Tuesday. If I hadn't already told you that, then I might say, okay, we're just going to meet on Tuesday anyway. But I don't want to back out on that, since I know some of you already made your plans. So that's why it's really important for us to meet on Thursday, for you to understand that. If school is canceled on Thursday, and again, at this point they're only forecasting some sleet and flurries, but if it's more than that and Loyola cancels, then I'll just do a video and I'll show you how to embed your YouTube video for Module 5, and then I'll also go over in detail the Thanksgiving break assignment, which is doing an Adobe Spark page. Okay, so if anyone has any questions, just go ahead and email me. I know a few of you have had minor problems with your WordPress sites, and just email me if that's the problem, because I can, like, if you're having a login issue, then I can go into the back end through Bluehost and reset your password or whatever. So just let me know if you have any problems, and definitely the main thing for today is to get this audio, to get your Word doc submitted, to be done with Module 4 with the audio, and then to go ahead and get started with Module 5. So everybody have a great day, and I will see you on Thursday.